Kenyans. Welcome back to another episode of The Nationalist. I'm your host and analyst, Kennedy Abongo. Today we are going to discuss why LSK supports Raila Odinga on the issue of 50+1. That is the presidential or the constitutional presidential threshold for one to be declared the president. The argument that is going to be before the Supreme Court judges is whether the rejected votes count towards tallying or calculating the threshold for 50+1 votes. Before we move to that topic in detail, kindly subscribe, share, and like. Comment so that we know your take on the topics we discuss and those you wish us to cover going forward. On to the topic. Why do you think LSK has moved to court to support Raila's petition as amicus curiae, simply the friends of the court? In petitions like this, institutions such as Law Society of Kenya are always allowed to put in their submissions to assist the court in determining issues that are critical or issues that raise contradictory constitutional interpretation among counsel. In this particular instance, we would have expected the Attorney General also to come in and put in their submissions. That did not happen. Surprisingly, however, LSK has moved and put in their submissions which support Raila's view that the rejected vote should count towards calculating the 50+1 mark. What does the Constitution say? Article 138.4 speaks to what should be considered when determining a presidential winner. It provides that a candidate must obtain 50+1 of the total votes cast. That is the topic of contention. That is what is going to form the biggest fight among counsels. Does rejected votes count towards that tally? To answer this question, LSK are saying that rejected votes should be included as part of vote cast. They are saying so because casting a vote involves putting that vote in the ballot box. It is not like spoiled votes, which do not go into the ballot box. So they are saying, so long as a vote had found its way into the ballot box, it must go towards tallying or calculating the winner of an election. What, however, is the position of the Supreme Court? This is the third time this issue is raised before the Supreme Court. And this is again the third time it is going to form a substantive bit of arguments among counsel before the Supreme Court. In 2013, the Supreme Court had held that only valid votes cast go towards the calculation of that threshold. Do you then mean to say, or essentially what the Supreme Court said was that rejected votes, though cast, are not envisaged as votes, the total of votes cast as per the Constitution? In 2017, when Raila again moved to court, the issue arose again, and the Supreme Court affirmed its decision of 2013. We are back with the same question. Is it a question of interpreting the Constitution as it is, the basic reading of the word total votes cast? Or is it a question of looking at much deeper with respect to determining the actual will of the people? Do we consider rejected ballots as papers or ballot papers who could determine the will of the people. There is something about rejected ballots that we have to know. It is that these are ballots that you cannot ascertain whether or not the voter wanted to elect a particular candidate. It is either the X goes beyond the box or is marked such ballots to different candidates and went ahead to cast that ballot. At the point of counting, those are considered as rejected ballots. On the other hand, we have what we call spoiled ballot papers or spoiled votes. These do not find their way into the ballot box. So there is no much of an issue about those ballot papers or spoiled ballot papers. But the fact that rejected ballot papers find their way into the ballot box means that they were cast by a voter, and therefore they are envisaged under Article 138(4). The issue, however, which I think the Supreme Court may affirm, is that those ballot papers or rejected votes are difficult or cannot really point to the will of the people, and therefore cannot be used in calculating what a voter intended. This is, I think, very critical, because we need the court to either strongly affirm the issue of what amounts to a ballot or a vote cast. If you consider, or if the Supreme Court decides that rejected ballots go towards calculating the winner of the presidential election, then Raila Odinga's side is home and dry. That is assuming that the numbers remain the same. Ruto will automatically come below 50%. If, however, the numbers remain the same and everything is assumed to be legitimate, then Raila's side is cooked, because only valid votes will be considered in calculating 50 plus 1 threshold. That marks the end of today's analysis. Once again, we want to remind you, do subscribe, share, and leave a comment and a like. Thank you very much.